Alright, we're live, people. I just saw a thing, people talking about Sangeeta being allegedly taken off air. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've not seen a tweet anything about it, so I'm a bit nervous to say for sure. It's a bit upsetting if she has gone, like, the last thing she did was kind of question, have big question marks around, like, Israel's attack on the Iranian consulate, and then, apparently she's gone. So that's really strange, honestly. I did have someone wrote a question about the CAS report. I'm not going to cover it 'cause it's not something I've read about at all. To be honest, I'm not like it takes a while for me to learn about this kind of stuff, and I think there are better commentators on the subject. So that's one I'll probably give a miss to unless it really blows up. But yeah, it's just not my area of expertise. But yeah, other than that, I've got a load of topics here. I've got a lot of these I need to edit as well. So I've got a lot of edits I need to make. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, this will be today's topics, I guess, that we'll cover. But I've got a load of videos I need to get through and actually start editing at some point. UK lawyers for Israel getting down at the committee. Yes, what? Lawyers as sweet. What? But yeah, no, I don't know what LBC are doing, to be honest with you, but it's not great for the channel that's supposedly leading Britain's conversation, especially when she didn't do anything that bad, especially versus certain other people on mainstream TV who had to make retractions fairly recently. That may or may not work for C4, but explosive stuff. Anyways, let's have a listen to what my guy's got to say.
I found it increasingly difficult to look my NHS colleagues in the eye, my patients in the eye, and my constituents in the eye with good conscience. And I feel that the NHS deserves better than it has at the moment in terms of how it's run and governed.
And so when you look at the NHS, right, the situation with the NHS, right, it's been pretty bad for a long time now. They talked about health crises in the mid 2010s. So this argument is not great. You had massive healthcare problems over the years. This guy, apparently he's going to stand down at the next election, and then he's going to he's going to run. He's going to be a consultant to the Labour Party. If that's true, you can see what he's going to do. He's going to probably work for private healthcare companies, being a consultant on their behalf. This is ridiculous.
I was elected into valued public services. It had a compassion.
I mean, this guy, he didn't stand down when Boris Johnson was there. Valued public services. Bro talked about building 40 hospitals. Where are they?
View about supporting the more disadvantaged in society.
That one. We're going to go through that one. That one's bad. When we look at his voting record in a minute.
I think the Conservative Party today is in a very different place. Its focus is not on...
Let's have a look. Let's have a quick... the important stuff.
View about supporting the more disadvantaged in society. I think the Conservative Party today is in a very different place.
He apparently he was annoyed about Sunak talking about the sick note culture. So let's have a listen to what Sky have to say first.
Dan Poulter has defected.
There's a weird hum on this.
From the Conservatives to Labour. Let's bring in our chief political correspondent, John Craig, straight away. And John, Dan Poulter is an interesting MP, isn't he? Because he works part-time, I seem to remember, as a hospital doctor. Is the NHS part of the reason he's going?
It's very much the reason why he's going. This is...
I mean, again, we're in potentially an election year. 14 years in, this man suddenly wants to leave because of the healthcare service. Okay,
it's a real blow for the Conservatives and a massive coup for the Labour Party.
Is it?
He is indeed. He's been a GP. He was a junior health minister a few years back. He is MP for the seat of Suffolk Central and Ipswich North. Well, I have to say it's a pretty safe Tory seat, that. because his majority was 23,391 at the last general election. But he has, I understand, indicated he's not planning to stand at the next general election. This has been announced by Wes Streeting, the Shadow Health Secretary.
Of course it was.
And confirmed to Sky News by senior Labour Party officials. And Wes Streeting has said this on Twitter, or X: proud to welcome Dan Poulter MP to the UK Labour Party. Of course, Mr Streeting is the Shadow Health Secretary. As a frontline clinician, he's seen the damage that 14 years of Conservative government...
He's been a part of it. How can you say he's seen the damage? Of course he did. He was there. He was there when it happened. You know, this is the most ridiculous argument I've ever seen in my life. I've ever seen. He was like, he saw the damage. Of course he did. He was there. He was a part of it.
Have done to our NHS. Delighted to have his support. Look forward to working with him, especially on mental health reform.
We'll see. I've got his voting record. I will try and find it.
Now, Mr. Poulter, or Dr. Poulter...
I mean, he was the junior health minister. Thank you, Gareth McDonald, for the super chat. Donation. I'm off. Check his voting record. I've got it. I've got it here. We can have a look together.
I should say, has written an article for the Observer newspaper. And he says, as an MP and psychiatrist, I see the burden a service near breaking point takes on patients, their families and healthcare colleagues. And he talks about the junior doctors' strikes. He talks about...
He was in government when it happened. It happened under Jeremy Hunt back in like the mid-2010s. There were really bad junior doctor strikes as well. He was still there. Like this whole argument of, it's just gotten way worse than it was before. It's like, no, it was pretty bad before.
Spending night shifts.
Nuts.
Working as a mental health doctor. And he says the NHS is struggling. He's struggling to look my NHS colleagues, my patients, my constituents in the eye, he says. When he says when the beds finally become available, they often be with a private health care provider. He talks about the chaos of today's fragmented patchwork of the NHS. So he's resigned from the Conservative Party to focus on my work as a doctor, he says, and support Keir Starmer, Wes Streeting. He says he'll continue to serve his constituents till the election, and he says Rishi Sunak should call the election as soon as possible. This is a huge...
It's a legacy saving move, this one, it feels like. Alicia Kearns is one of the Tory MPs. Yeah, she's one of the few I'd say probably deserves some respect, I'll be honest. Not many of them do, but she's probably one of them.
Blow for the Conservatives.
I would, honestly, I'd probably put a bit more respect on her name than I would certain Labour frontbenchers.
Conservatives, another defection, and a massive coup for Labour, who will be delighted at this great propaganda boost for Labour on health and a desire.
All right, let's have a look. So this is Zoe Gardner, actually. Let's listen to her. I really can't understand why you'd allow a Tory to slide casually over to the Labour benches at this stage. Dan Poulter voted for the disgusting lie of the Rwanda bill and now dares to say he's leaving the Tories because they're not focused on public services. Get him in the bin. At least he's not standing again, so damage is limited. But it's gross. Yeah, and he voted for Rwanda. Voted for the Rwanda bill. I got this from NJ. My guy voted through all the brutal austerity that destroyed the health service and socially murdered hundreds of thousands of people. Now jump ship when the NHS funding percentage GDP is higher than any point since 2010, but his party is tanking in the polls. I've said before, but anyone trying to blame Sunak for the NHS is trying to wash their hands of the democidal policy of Osborne and Yeah, I agree with all of this, honestly. It's not just Sunak that did the damage. FYI, I'm referring to his health record. Let's see. Quick perusal at his voting records. Good in comparison to his... Yeah, I think his record of healthcare actually not the worst. This from Owen Jones, actually. He's probably a Conservative MP because he believed in the things he consistently voted for, slashing taxes on the rich, destroying the welfare state, privatisation, that kind of thing, and he probably doesn't think Labour poses any more of a threat to his core beliefs. That's a repeat. Okay, that's a thingy. Let's have a look. So on health is actually, I don't think he's that bad. Like, consistently voted against restricting the provision to private patients for the NHS, so voted against restricting, so he's allowing, I think, more private care into the NHS, I think. Dan Poulter voted to support proposed reforms, including giving more power to GPs, commission services, strengthening care quality commission, cutting admin costs. That one seems okay. Voted to remove the restriction on the amount of income foundation trusts can earn from private charges, known as private. Again, some of this stuff, like, I genuinely do not understand. Like, because the stuff is like it's worded in like Parliament terms. More power to GPs. I mean, I don't think it's healthcare record. I don't think it'll be that bad, to be honest. Voted for public health measures and social restriction to reduce the spread of COVID, so it's fine. Voted consistently for reforming NHS so GPs can buy services on behalf of their patients. That seems okay. Consistently voted for fewer obstacles for access to abortion. That seems good. Consistently voted for smoking bans. I mean, I'm a bit mixed on smoking bans, but okay. He never voted on terminally ill patients to be given assistance to end a life. Voted for higher taxes specifically to fund health and social care. So again, that one's good. Consistently voted for reducing the maximum amount an individual may be required to contribute to their social care costs. So that would be like the dementia tax, basically. So his health record vote I don't think it's that bad. But when we look at the other stuff, right, welfare benefits and pensions, voted against raising welfare benefits at least in line with prices, so against inflation. Consistently voted for making local councils responsible for helping those in financial need afford their council tax and reducing the amount spent on such support, so that's bad. Consistently voted against increasing increasing state pension aid for women more slowly. So again, I think that one's bad. They worded it weird, but trying to increase the state pension age for women quicker, can't support that. Generally voted for reducing housing benefit for social tenants deemed to have access bedrooms, the bedroom tax. And again, when you do this kind of stuff, right, when you strip away financial support from people, again, that affects their mental health, and that puts a further burden on things like the NHS. When they don't have money to live properly, you're going to affect their physical health. Again, puts a burden on the NHS. So his record on health might be fine. His record on everything else is washed, because some of the reasons why people need the healthcare service is down to poverty. Almost always voted against paying higher benefits over long periods for those unable to work due to illness or disability, so making the lives of the people he claims that have been let down by the Tory party worse. Okay, almost always voted for a reduction in spending on welfare benefits. So again, his vote record on this, really bad. Why is my mouse being like that? His record in terms of pro kind of his pro-austerity vote, I guess we'll call it, very strong here. Very pro-austerity. For his foreign policy, we'll leave this out. Consistently voted against the second referendum on the terms of the UK's withdrawal from the EU. Almost always voted against UK membership of the EU, so a Brexit here, I guess. Almost always voted against a right to remain for EU nationals already living in the UK. That seems pretty dodgy to me. Always voted against a right to remain for EU nationals. I mean, I can't wait for the Labour social goons to eat this one up when this guy's so anti-EU and they're so pro-EU. But okay. So again, his record on EU citizens really bad. On social issues, never voted against. Consistently voted for allowing gay marriage is fine. Voted for consistently voted for equal rights. This is good. Voted for a mixture of laws to promote equality and human rights. So yeah, social issues. This one, the category they put in is fine. Business and economy. Generally voted against requiring imported goods to meet domestic. What the hell? Voted against requiring imported goods to meet domestic standards. That's really sus. That's really bad. If a Tory finds it acceptable to defect your party, should you look at your policy? Yeah, I mean, you probably should, to be honest. Generally voted for for HS2, that's fine. Almost always voted for reducing the corporation tax rate, that's bad. Generally voted for measures to reduce tax avoidance, that's fine. Voted for a mixture of for and against stronger tax incentives for companies, that'll be a mixed bag, because that's what they've said there. Let's see, anything else that's interesting here? Voted for adding a third runway to Heathrow. I'm not too concerned about that. Voted for education. Voted for tuition fees. Washed. Voted for England's raising of undergrad tuition fees capped to 9k per year. Consistently voted for greater autonomy schools. That's fine. Consistently voted for academy schools. Again, soft privatisation of schools that are not great. And some of this stuff here, see what it's like on the environment. Might as well go through it. In the video, I'll cut this down a lot. Can't see anything here super interesting, to be honest with you. Consistently voted against landlords paying for the cost of building safety works. I mean, who else is going to pay for it if it's not the landlord? Jesus, that's a bad one. Voted for charging a market rent to high earners renting a council home. I mean, high earners renting a council home is weird. Voted for phasing out secure tenancies for life. Voted against stronger fire safety measures. I mean, okay. I mean, this guy's voting record is not good. I'll be honest. I'm sure someone else will go through it with a fine tooth comb here. I'm not going to do that, but in terms of his record on health, not bad. His record on austerity, really bad, really bad, guys. Post Grenfell, probably yeah. I'd have to go back and look through it, but probably yeah. So let's have a look. This is other stuff I want to cover during the week. So if you guys did want to discuss the stuff around the MP, just put it in the comments. I'll get to it in a sec. I'll just mute the mic when I'm drinking stuff. Probably better. A little bit dead air never killed anyone. Unless I start coughing. But yeah, you know, this guy's voting record is not great. I'm gonna say it's pretty bad. I did want to do some. We've got some general topics here that I've already done videos on. So this one I'll probably cover. I'll probably do the video on it tomorrow or something. Did he vote for Rwanda? I think he did vote for Rwanda, but I'm not sure if the website reflects it. All right, see what we'll do is. We got a full name for this guy. See, Dan Poulter. I think he did. Yeah. So I think that's what No Justice wrote. Dan Poulter, Rwanda. Oh, he abstained apparently. Oh, this was last year. Actually, that's what Zoe Gardner said. You know, he voted for Rwanda bill, so I'll take her word for it. Excuse me. I'll take her word for it. So that's fine. So we got a guy who voted for, who apparently voted for the Rwanda bill, and he's going to be joining the Labour Party. Let's see, it might be here. No, it's not here. I'm going to have to change the search options, bear with. Let's see, to auto to there. He abstained. It looks like he might. No, this was from last year. That's the problem. Let me change the search again. Let's do the start of the month. Wait, how did they have this article from 2 days ago? How's that possible? It's dated today. It's really weird. It must be something Yahoo are doing. They must do it to boost them in the search. I can't find anything on it, honestly. They're doing something weird to impact the Google search, because if you look at it right, let's see, does local elections really matter? Sam Coates tells us things. I think he must be in this video. Let's see. Why did he appear if he's not in the video? Strange. I'm gonna have a meltdown, guys, if I keep going through this. But yeah. Pagan's question regarding the SNP. What? So he did vote for Rwanda. I think he did. Well, according to Jonathan Gullis abstained on Rwanda. It doesn't mean anything. That is true. Yeah. It depends on your reasoning. If Gullis voted for world peace, I'd be suspicious. Yeah, I would be as well. Spotted Pagan's question regarding SNP siding with the Tories. I couldn't bother explaining to him what it was because I can't do live chats on a. I wouldn't bother. Like if people, if you know, at this point in the game, like you believe what you want to believe, and some of these people they want to be pro Labour and stuff. So let them be in it. I'll still call them out if they do like egregious videos, but like, yeah, there's not much we can do. Like they believe like Labour will do all these great things because of logic and stuff, and they've carved themselves a nice echo chamber. Like the ones who kind of discount kind of the far right and say, oh, you know, when the Lib Dems are the opposition party, or if the Lib Dems are the opposition party, you know, it's going to make the country much better, which objectively it would if that's the case, but they're acting like, you know, that's going to be our pathway back into the EU and such. Okay, buddy, like I don't. It's just whatever. Like they've carved themselves like a nice potential timeline, and there's not much we can do about it. So You know, a timeline that doesn't include the far right. So, you know, there's not much more we can say about it. Gullis still thinks he can win his seat. I mean, I suppose he's not going to openly come out and say, I can't win it, especially when he's deputy chair. I think he's deputy chairman of the Conservative Party, right? So he can't go around saying, I'm washed or whatever. Like, he can't do that. So, there is that as well. So, like, I wouldn't read into it too much, honestly. Just trying to see if there's anything interesting just kicking off on Twitter, given what we've seen. There's not much going on apart from football stuff. Football stuff's the only stuff that's really trending. Let's see. Britain's Got Talent. Do people still watch Britain's Got Talent? Really? There's nothing really political trending to see for you. Where is Sangeeta is trending? Top Tory MP. Let's see. Let's see what that says. I mean, he didn't resign when Boris Johnson was there, destroying everything. So, what the hell is this stuff? This a real thing? I'll give up. I give up on Twitter. I give up. Not long started, Kevin. What's that? Oh yeah, I've not been streaming that long. Been streaming since 10. Not much has happened really. If he's a Brexiteer, he voted for medicine. Oh, that's a good point actually. Yeah, I didn't think of that. That is true. I think he did. Let's see if we can find out how he voted. Because it looks like he voted for more anti. So a lot of anti-EU stuff. There's a petition signed to reinstate Sangeeta. We don't know what's happened, to be fair. We actually don't know if she's been taken off. Let's see. I've received a great deal of correspondence on this. Let's see, what's he put? Oh. I mean, his page links to the Conservative homepage, so that's great. Big Rish is out here. Let's see. Is there anything on how he voted for Brexit? Let's see. Poulter was opposed to Brexit. He voted later along party lines. Okay, so he did vote for Remain initially. So there's that. Oof, there's some nasty business down there. So yeah, and then he voted with party line. So I mean, he did vote for medicine shortages. You're not wrong. So yeah, clearly cared about them. He voted essentially to get rid of to help get rid of healthcare workers as well, who are from the EU. So by backing Brexit. So that's great. I mean, I don't really, like I said, like a lot of these commentators, they're not great. Like most of the LBC team are pretty washed. I'll be honest. If you think about if you're trying to pick out good ones, right, it's gonna be pretty difficult for you to do that. Like, can you name 3 good presenters from LBC? And if you answer James O'Brien, I'm just gonna troll you relentlessly. So yeah, you guys tell me, right? Which ones are good? You tell me. Name me 3 good presenters. Nick Abbott. Okay, I'll give you Nick Abbott. There you go. There's one for you. The pack. I'll give you Nick Abbott. I'll give you one. Who else you got? Slim Pickens. It's Slim Pickens. And he's not even prime time either. I don't think he's even got a good slot, I'll be honest. Oops. Matt Fry is not too bad. I don't know who Matt Fry is. Again, like you guys are naming the B team. Nick Abbott. Andrew, what's his name? Honestly, right, this is the B team turning up here. These are people who got the you're gonna name Perkis next. Matthew Wright, really? Matthew, are we? Matthew Wright, you're going to put on the list of good. Okay, how are we defining good, by the way? Okay, good as in... Okay, wait. Vorders. Yeah, but they're not regular. They're not regulars. Ollie is not a regular on thingy. Blood said Mar. I can't even argue with that. Okay. Yeah, but she's not like you guys are naming the B team and like the substitutes. Like I'm talking about like the main presenter. Like Sangeeta was. Yeah, but you're naming second stringers. Like you're naming the B team and substitutes. Nick Abbott. Okay, I'll give you. He's a regular, even though I think his time slot's a bit weird. But yeah, you know, like you're naming the people that haven't got the good time slots, which probably why they don't have the good time slots because they're actually good at their job. But yeah, no, the B team, honestly. So yeah,
Stings, doesn't it?
there are stipulations now. I mean, yeah, of course, you're naming the sideman crew. You know, I wanted the A team. I wanted Big Dog. You know, you guys naming the B team and getting mad at me.
That's right. Don't blame yourself. Blame me.
Matthew Wright went right out my window during our Scottish independence campaign back in the day. He was clueless. Yeah, he was washed on when he had his own programme, I think. Yeah, no, I mean, like, okay, Ollie is a regular. He's on late every weekend. Ollie, are you talking about Ollie? Is his name Ollie Dugmore, the guy from Politics Joe? Is that who you're talking about? Andrew Marr is not too bad. Yeah, okay, I'll give you Andrew Marr. I'll give Andrew Marr. Okay, one sec. Ollie, LBC Ollie. Is that Ollie Dugmore you're talking about? Yeah, it must be. Is he on LBC? Let's see. Global player. Guys, he's had 2 shows on LBC. Oh, I can't even to get rid of all this nonsense. No, I don't want to make an account. Guys, he's had 2 shows, guys. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. He's had 2 shows, okay? I can see 2 shows on catch up. I don't think he's on there that much, like. So yeah, Nick for you guys think you're funny here.
I fail to see the logic here.
You guys are actually like, what is? I'm being trolled here. Let's see, James O'Brien when he only talks about. No, come on, man. Guys, I'm asking you to.
I'm about to kick this battle up a notch.
I'm asking you to show me your best. I asked for your best, chat. I said, give me the best people, and you guys are hitting me with this. I asked for the best. Honestly. Nigel Farage, really?
Start praying, boy.
Goddamn, you guys are just taking the wind out of my sails. You're taking the jam on my donut at this point, honestly. LBC, yes, it is. That was my point. Seamus who? Whose mans are these? Who? Seamus what? What are you... Honestly, I'm not equipped for this. My soundboard is not equipped for this level of nonsense. What's the best I can come up with? Nah.
I'm talking ideals.
That's what I'm talking about. People, good hosts or journalists with principles, ideals. LBC is for Londonium, rich people. Suppose it does feel a bit middle classy. I'll be honest.
Stings, doesn't it?
It's the truth. I mean, come on now. Ollie has been on for months. I have phoned him at least 5 times. What? Are you sure about that? He's only got 2 programs on the thing. Ollie Dugmore, LBC, show, radio. Alright, let's see what we can find his slot. Okay. Schedule, right? Let's see. Ollie Dugmore. Let's see what we can find. Oh, go away. I don't want to accept the stupid cookies. I already told you this. I mean, Nick Abbott is on from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Who's listening to the radio at 10 p.m. to 1 a.m.? Right? So it's Sunday. Ollie Dugmore's on at 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. on a Sunday. He's got a weekly show by the looks of it. Ian Dale, let's see. Kentish. Where's O'Brien then? Is he on? Does O'Brien not work Mondays? No, he does, yeah. All I'm saying is, who is listening to radio at that time? You know, who's on that late? He's a weekender as well. He's on the B team, guys. Like, I don't want to be mean. You know, you could say you're a never been cussing people out, but like, yeah, he's like on Sunday morning, 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. is where you'll find Ollie Dugmore. That's what I'm saying. You know, they have a live player and you can listen to any show anytime. That is true, but you know, if that's the case, you might as well take O'Brien off the main slot then. The fact that he changed his very Scottish accent too, I don't know about that. But all I'm saying is this your champion right here? Let's have a look. Is this your champion on at 4 a.m. to 7 a.m? And he's there. He gets one slot a week as well on a Sunday. Who's up at that time? He's got a worse slot than Rachel Johnson. I guess we need to tune into the Ollie Dugmore. We need to get him a better time slot. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely crazy. Honestly, is it Matthew Wright, Ian Dale, Ali Mirage? This is the Saturday slot. Vorder's got a good slot, I think, 4 p.m. 7 evening. Nick Abbott has sound effects. What's not to like? I mean, I respect the sound effects, alright? I've got lots.
I know you understand.
I have lots of sound effects. I can respect the soundboard. I've heard his show before. Their middle of the road audience led opinion. I mean, it's just liberal England, I'll be honest. Rachel Johnson's still there. Sheila is pretty bad too. I don't listen. I don't listen to these unless they do interesting interviews or interviews that are really bad, like genuinely really bad. There's no reason I find to listen to them. Like, you'll find better analysis from people on YouTube, I'll be honest. Like, I listened to the Politics Joe podcast the other day and it was so unserious and I was just like, bro, what is this? I was like, what the hell is this? You know, I was like... So, yeah, trust me, like... And I like their podcast as well. But again, you know, I've never been cussing people out, so no one cares about that, but... Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it, but you know, it's up to people at the end of the day. They watch what they want to watch. But all I'm saying is, yeah, LBC is pretty washed. James O'Brien is yeah. Reasonable presenters are the outliers. Mainstream media of those. Sharp out Waitrose and Ocado. Apparently, Waitrose isn't as expensive as people think it is. I don't know if that's true. I'm not sponsored by Waitrose, but apparently that's what people are claiming. Unionist through and through. Yeah, I mean, it's very echo chambery. I think the most right wing person is probably Nick Ferrari, and the most left person will probably be Ollie Dugmore. But again, like the problem with that is, his slot is pretty bad. Like, not to criticize him because obviously he's done the hard yards with Politics Joe. So Waitrose is more expensive than Marks. I mean, if you're more expensive than M&S, you have a problem. Alright, let's just go into general topics. I'll probably cut the stream in about 20 minutes anyways. Who's the guy Saturday morning? I'm not sure. Kentish, maybe? Ollie was on yesterday morning. I spoke to him about the stupid politician that didn't know where the Republic of... Oh, yeah. Republic. Yeah, that was crazy. David Lammy is actually... He's what? I don't know if I can... I don't know what... I ain't going to say that. Anyways, let's go into topics anyway. So we got this from Andrew Neil. I think the audio might be a bit low, but just let me know. I can try and change it manually. Excuse me, it's been a long day. Try and change it manually, but yeah, let's see.
Wanted to become. I could see it was happening, which is why I left almost immediately. Was an outlet for bizarre conspiracy theories or anti-vaxxers or basically the nutty end of politics. That's
Fox
not
News.
Which Fox News is, I say, very good in quotes.
Natasha woman, the journalist lady, yeah.
That, and in America, there's a bigger market for that. There's no market in Britain beyond a hardcore of nutters. Am I allowed to say nutters? I just said nutters.
So is the outlook for GB News, as far as you're concerned, fairly gloomy? Not just because you're because they got the model wrong.
I need to be careful what I say here because I'm quite surprised that GB News has survived as long as it is. And I'm even more surprised that it sold off Talk TV. I actually thought Talk TV might do real damage to GB News.
It's weird Talk TV haven't managed to. You would think so. They would have done better, but I guess they didn't have the resources that that GB News had. I guess maybe that's the problem. Like GB News had a lot of money put behind it, so there was that, and it's still making a loss. Who's this? Who's saying Scots should stay quiet?
Because it did have better production values, and it wasn't.
To be fair, O'Brien did vote for Boris Johnson twice, though.
Conspiracy theory. It had a variety. Yeah.
I've been up since early, guys. Okay.
I think it did kind of lean to the right, but it had a variety of opinions, and they weren't all to the right. I think GB News has found, to my surprise, it's found a niche for itself, but it's not a very big niche, and it's not a niche that can ever be profitable. Now it is lost in. So it started running in January of 2021, launched in June of 21. We're now coming up to June 24, so 3.5 years. It has lost over £90 million, and it lost more in year 2 than it lost in year 1. Whereas the original business model was to break even by year 3. I think I'm pretty safe in saying.
Yeah, there's no chance they're going to break even in year 3. He's such a reasonable and unbiased person. I value his measured and researched opinions. I mean, this is former employee hits out at the employer, really.
Happen. So, if there's a bunch of people who want to carry on financing it because they like the ideology, well, that's up to them. But I find it very hard to see how it can ever be profitable or even break even.
So yeah, he's not wrong. I don't think it will ever be profitable. But to be fair, some of these newspapers have stuck around purely because of the fact that they have influence. That's one of the reasons they've stayed in, like the Sun and stuff like that. It stayed in because of that, you know. So it's one of them things where, like, yeah, because it's got influence. They've decided to prop it up. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, let's move on. Love your sarcasm, Phil. I'll see. How was the Brexit weather doing down south of France? Yeah, true that. So this from the head of Ofcom.
Today is tightening our guidance, making the whole industry really, just be even more aware of the need to take care if you've got a politician presenting a show within the rules, and particularly as the election comes up, the need to get this right.
Thinking of any channels in particular?
Well, look, there's been a lot of new channels coming onto our screens over the past few years, Talk TV, GB News, and they have, some of them been, well, all of them actually been innovating by bringing politicians in. And we have found GB News in breach 11 times in the past year, and they are on notice that they need to improve their record, or that will lead to fines and sanctions in the future. But at the same time, it's really important that we do allow that creativity.
What options do you have when you say fines, etc.?
Well, we can and do fine broadcasters. It's not something we do very often. It's a severe step from Ofcom. And that's because freedom of expression and creativity is actually a really important part of what we're trying to uphold as well. We have a very broad and diverse landscape for news and current affairs in this country, which is actually the envy of many others. And that, I think, is because we've got flexibility, but we also do uphold those standards of impartiality and accuracy, which viewers really value.
So what?
I mean, that's Ofcom have been really bad on this issue. Ofcom have been absolutely terrible on this. Tory MPs interviewing other Tory MPs, etc. I mean, yeah, it's kind of pointless, I'll be honest. So yeah, no, I 100% no, it's bad. Like, no, it's honestly just stupid. This argument that she's making here is terrible. Like, GB News is bizarre. The fact that I don't know how it's still going. I'll be honest. But this argument of like Ofcom are doing their job, like Ofcom have been really bad. So on this, not done a lot. So it's a regulator not doing its job. I don't know why, if it's down to regulatory capture, if it's down to pressure from government, or is it just they just don't care? Impartial action towards, yeah, I mean, GB News is, have they done anything that's been really like actual like media worthy? Is she talking about the British media landscape being any other, the envy of any? I mean, it's awful. Let's be honest here. The TV media landscape venges from centre to right wing. Yeah, I lost 76 mil in 2 years because it's not designed to make a profit. It's not designed to make a profit. It's there for influence. It's there to get into the ear of Tory MPs. That's what it seems to be there for, in my opinion, anyways. I think it will last a bit longer. I think it'll be here till like 2026. I think. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think the losses are going to be able to stick out, but someone or some group will be okay with spending. Yeah, honestly, they will be. Yeah. Especially if Labour get an easy ride in government from the media. I think that's where someone will buy out GB News. Talk TV went to YouTube only. Yeah, strange. I don't know how they'll make money doing that though. That's the thing. I don't know why they didn't stick out on terrestrial TV. It's very strange, very very strange. But I can tell you as a person on YouTube that I don't make a ton of money. I don't get a ton of views. But let's have a look. I'm gonna get copyright for this if I'm not careful. So it's a Drake song I've just been listening to. Do Not Disturb by Drake's a really good song. Let's have a look. Talk TV. I hope I don't get copyright for that. That'd be nonsense. Let's see. Talk TV. They got 277 people watching. I doubt they allow super chats. I'd be very surprised. Jesus Christ. It's what's his name? Jeremy Kyle. Yeah, no, I don't. With 277 viewers, they started streaming 11 hours ago. I don't think I can't see them making money. I'll be honest. I don't know how they've managed to survive actually this long. Just thinking about it. If Starmer does a deal with a big group, I don't know. I mean, he's on his way out. To be honest, he's old. He's old. Like, it'll be one of his kids, I think. Isn't one of the guys who owns GB News in line to buy the Telegraph? I don't know. You can live off about 50, 60k regular subs as a single person. I mean, it depends on like how much content you put out and stuff like that as well. And yeah, as a single person, yeah, you probably could. You could probably carve out a good living with that amount, as long as you get like full monetization and stuff like that. But these guys have TV hosts. They've got editors. They've got producers. This is probably not the best time to stream, I'll be honest. This is absolutely cooked me. But what's it called? Hosts, producers, these people make decent money. There's a lot that would go into this. Let's see how many slots I can get through. So this one, about voters not feeling engaged. Didn't I have? This one I missed.
Council tax seems to keep going up, and all of our services are beyond capacity and on their knees. The maths isn't adding up.
So where does that leave you as a voter? You can't see any solutions.
No one's telling me anything that I'm convinced by.
Lee, Roland.
Well, the reason... Politicians are going to be straight with you. There's 65...
That's terrifying, wherever the hell that was.
£5 billion going into local government. There's millions...
There's £65 billion divided by all of the local governments. I wonder how much that actually is.
And there's millions of things happening.
And the roads are crumbling.
And there's
and people are...
You know, I think interrupting a member of the audience like that, I don't think is a good call.
But the question, Ellie, is where do you get the additional money from?
I can answer that. I can answer that. There are political
So this from Days Keeper is actually really good.
choices.
Because that is why...
There are political choices that you have made where you have not collected taxes.
The point. The gentleman there says the Conservatives have attacked the public services over the last 14 years. It's a strange attack when we've put hundreds of billions of additional...
I mean, again, you'd have to look at things like per capita spending, where the money is actually going. Is it going to the NHS? Is it going to private companies? Is it going to Tory party donors? You know, the argument of we're putting lots of money in, okay, wherever, per capita, is it more? That's the real question. That's something I wish I mentioned during the actual video.
Additional pounds in per year.
So everyone's saying they're not working.
Daisy Cooper.
Here's the way that we can pay for some public services. We have a windfall tax on the big oil and gas companies. The Liberal Democrats were the first party to call for that.
Yeah, the Labour Party stole that one.
We could close the loopholes and raise a lot more money to pay for our public services.
They're probably not paying to show the YouTube vids, or they have not gone... Okay, well, we'll have to keep an eye on them.
The Conservatives gave a £3 billion tax cuts to the big banks, which were already raising more money than they've ever raised before. We could reverse that tax cut for the big banks and spend that £3 billion on public services or health, education, anything else. We've got these really big water companies now that have been allowed to pump sewage into our rivers. They've been raising millions in pounds as well. There are big companies that are raking in billions of pounds.
With the water companies, I think that one's a bit of a point that doesn't make sense in the context of this conversation. But with the banks, I didn't know they were given that massive tax break.
For the big banks and spend that already raising more money than they've ever raised before. We could reverse cuts to the big banks, which were already raising money to pay for our public services. The Conservatives gave a £3 billion...
Again, like in the grand scheme of things, like, is this money going to make a ton of difference? No, but these things, like, you know, you get some money from here and there, and it'll make a difference. What they really need to do is, you know, it's ironic. It's a bit ironic that the Lib Dems are the ones saying this stuff when, you know, their record's not great in government. Labour's Great British Rail policy is a Tory policy, by the way. I mean, well, I'll have to see details of it. Like, the Tories are saying they're going to nationalise some. You know, they've had to nationalise some of the railways because they've gone bankrupt. Some of the services, right? I'll have to see what Labour's actual plans are regarding that, because the Tories said they're going to build 40 hospitals, right? If Labour jacked that policy and actually had a plan to do it, I wouldn't be against it. So it depends. It depends on the actual details of the plan. That's what I'd have to see. This another clip from voters feeling homeless or politically homeless or annoyed.
Ideas about how, I guess, politics can be more accessible, because you were saying, I guess, the same thing as Stephen, saying that, look, you know, you turn on the TV and it's just a whole load of people.
Yeah, don't mention investments.
Arguing.
Yeah, I think for me, with what I do, trying to spread positivity, and I think that well-being and mental health is affected no matter whether you're in politics, life, work, out of work, whatever it is. And I think that we live in an era where nothing's changed. You've got people at 20, you've got people, please, and no discrimination here, you know.
Yeah, don't start me on the fiscal rules. Don't do this, guys. Don't. I'm asking you guys nicely. Don't do this.
I know you understand.
Don't do this, guys.
30, 40, 50, who actually, they're an era of people are in this room now thinking about not voting. And a lot of the time, we're just touching what Mel said there, is if you actually put the information in a format that people will digest, which is modern, which is social media, which is...
Yeah, he wants sound bites. That's what he wants, sound bites, 60-second clips, things like that. But again, if he wants positivity, you're not going to get that from politicians. I'll be honest. But yeah, you know, it's not the worst point he's just made there. It's pretty good. In the context of this, not the best, but in the context of, like, you know, politicians want to get their point across, a 60-second clip. Excuse me, we'll probably do it. Let's have it. This is probably my favourite clip. This is the best question on Question Time I've seen this year, and I think it'll probably go down as the best Question Time episode, or the best Question Time question.
Chris, yes.
Yeah, Chris. I come from a neighbouring country called Congo. If you know geographically, that it's located right next door to Rwanda.
So that's important. Remember, guys, he comes from a country that's bordering Rwanda, so that would make it a different country.
And right now in Goma, there's a genocide going on, and there's such a big conflict going on with people from Rwanda. So had my family members come from Goma on a crossing right now, would they then be sent back to the country that they're supposedly warring, Rwanda? Does that make any sense to you?
No, I think there's an exclusion on people from Rwanda being sent to Rwanda.
They're not from Rwanda, they're from Congo.
Also, what kind of country would we be sending refugees from if refugees are already escaping that country? Doesn't really make sense, does it?
They're from Congo.
They're
from Congo.
They're supposedly warring these people from Rwanda. Are they then going to be sent to Rwanda if they came here on a crossing?
From
Congo? Yeah.
Would people be sent from... Well, I mean, Rwanda is a different country of Congo, isn't it? It's a different country.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
This picture here is everything. This is, yeah.
You're saying if they come from a war zone
That picture is everything as well.
in Congo, would they then be sent to Rwanda? That's the point he's making.
So there is a clause in the legislation that says if somebody would suffer, I think the phrase is serious and irreversible harm by being sent somewhere, they wouldn't be sent. So there is that safety mechanism.
Honestly, yeah, I felt secondhand embarrassment watching that. I felt actual pain because he's like, well, Congo is a separate country, Rwanda, isn't it? And he's just like, oof. Thanks, Ruth. I appreciate your streams. I'm so sad that the public in general are so apathetic and don't realise politics affects every minute of their lives. To be fair, right? When you look at the last 14 years, and I know we looked at voting turnout in the midweek stream, right? When you look at the state of the country, can you see why people are apathetic to voting? Because nothing changes. Like, okay, fair enough. Under New Labour, things were better, but they could have been a lot better, I think. But under the Conservative Party, people don't really believe in change that much. Like, people just don't want things to be worse. I think in England, at least in parts of England, I think that's the way people see it. So when you overpromise so much, like the way Corbyn did, I think I can turn people off saying, "Oh, there's no way you're going to do that. It's going to be bad, or you're going to make things worse." I think, anyways, you got to make it believable change. I think I'm not saying what Starmer's doing is right, by the way, because he's offering very little, very very little. But I think there is a balance between the two. I think there is a big balance between the two that you could do. Look at the key policies that people actually care about and the ones that are feasible. See how small he made his fingers regarding the safety mechanism. Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
Serious and irreversible harm by being sent somewhere, they wouldn't be sent. So there is that safety mechanism built into the legislation.
Yeah, no, it's a bit weird, his body language. I think he realised that he's going to be the clown of the year, honestly. I wish we could do awards like Big Maj Studios Clown of the Year. And yeah, some sort of award show. If I had more space, maybe
What's his name?
Could do some nonsense like that. I mean, this is wow. It's crazy. It's going to be the thumbnail. This is absolutely crazy. There's another question here from another member of the audience.
Two things. The first thing is the money that's been spent. It's a huge waste of taxpayers' money.
It's about the Rwanda policy.
And if I could, I would withdraw my consent for my taxpayers' money to be used in that way.
I wish we could all do that. I wish we could say, no, I don't want my taxpayer money to go there. I think this would be great. Honestly, this would be a great policy. See, another one from Ruth. Stop saying the country. The UK is not a country. Did I say it or did he say it? Okay, fine. It's a Freudian slip. We'll give that one. Thanks for the super chat again. But yeah, fine. The Union. No, I'm not even talking about the Union. I'm talking about England, really. England. There's a reason why I think people in England are so apathetic. Question time is like a guilty pleasure for those who really hate themselves. Well, probably. As I make a joke about how that's probably why NJ watches it, but no, what's it called? No, Question Time is pretty painful, but you get the clips, and the clips are pretty good. I mean, the guy who asked the first question was doing this. This was my guy hitting a 3-pointer of him saying, "My range is anywhere on the court," because pretty much was. I mean, he just hit him with a question, a follow-up question, and I was like, this guy's crazy.
I think it's morally reprehensible. And then that brings me on to the next point, which is the language and the rhetoric around.
Are you guys going to argue if the UK is a state or a union? It's going to get boring in the chat.
I think we need to bring humanity back into this discussion. And when I speak to friends that live overseas and meet people from overseas, I'm actually embarrassed by the reputation that my country has.
I'm also embarrassed by England, I'll be honest. I'm also very embarrassed by England. It's not great, I'll be honest. The reputation I think England has always had, it's not been good. Let's see, whether they're in favour of nationalisation.
All right, you've got something to say about Rishi Sunak. What word comes into your head?
He's the first person that I've heard in a long...
Oh no, this one's pretty painful. This one, the bit at the end was interesting. Oh, Twitter, why do you do this to me on stream? Sorry guys, I'm going to have to just refresh this quick.
So Rishi Sunak, if I say
there's just doing the...
This guy was saying like, oh, at least Sunak has measurable goals. You know, you got to respect him for that. I think there is an exclusion for sending people to Rwanda from Republic. He said, to be fair, there's some sort of safety mechanism, but I guess that would have to go through the appeals process. The UK was classed as a country within the EU because of it being run by a central government. I guess that would make sense, but we know it's not.
Routes that actually help local people get to work, get to school, travel, explore the country.
The Labour government can meddle, that's what it means, and it means that the rail unions who have been trying to cause problems with strikes for the last 2 years will have control of the country. I'm old enough to...
That's so much cap right there. It's complete nonsense. There'll be potentially less strikes, you know. And there won't be people extracting wealth from the rail service.
Remember what that means. I remember British Rail in the 70s and early 80s.
Now, chat, you're going to have to enlighten me. What is she talking about with British Rail? How bad was it, or how good was it?
It was not great. And that is not what we want to see again. You know, when I think about when I was at school and the trains that I used to go on that were government run, they were dirty, they were slow, they were late, nobody was helpful. Now you can get on a modern train, get to Doncaster, get down to London. By December, we should have our direct rail back here to Cleethorpes. It's cleaner. You know, it's a totally different experience to what it was when we had a Labour government.
Let's get a bit of a sense then. If you're in favour of rail nationalisation, put your hand up.
He was lying about the safety mechanism. That doesn't surprise me at all.
If you're in favour of nationalising the rails, and if you're not in favour of it.
Well, I guess Labour are going to have to drop the policy now because half the people weren't in favour of it, which would be quite fun to see if they did drop it. This was probably one of the most frustrating clips. I know Max already covered this one, but this person's actually nuts.
Good to talk to you. Sarah, you voted Conservative in 2019, didn't you?
I don't want to be mean yet because these are like normie voters. Get to London by December. I don't think that's what she said. Is that what she said? Let's see. Is that what she actually said? Wait, where is it? Is it this one?
Has to get down to London by December. We should have our.
All right, okay, that's mean. That's mean. I can see what you did there. That one, that's funny though. That is funny. Let's see. Do I have any emotes I could drop? I'll give you a. Hit you with one of these for that one. That was funny. Do you think any chose their prominent political presenter based? If that's a criticism of Ridge, I don't think Ridge is that bad. I think she's actually one of the better ones. To be honest, I think I'd. She has like some weird moments, but I think generally she's fine as a presenter. So I'll hit you with no for Ridge. And I don't like Beth Rigby that much. There's something Jane. I think I can't remember half of them, to be honest with you. Like, because a lot of them are just they just read off the teleprompter. So like, there's that. So I wouldn't. I don't think they do, to be honest with you. I don't think go off appearance. And I think they pick the people. Ridge is awful. Okay, buddy. Okay.
And you said the economy is something that matters to you, and also immigration. Do you want to just talk a bit
about
that?
I think Ronald Reagan said it best, and my most terrifying
I want you guys to pay attention to what she's saying here.
In the English language, I'm from
Fiona Bruce. Derbyshire is the only decent journalist on TV. Guru Murphy is okay. I mean, I'd say he's a bit more than okay. I think he's pretty good. I wouldn't want my taxes being spent on the royal family. That is true. That's one I wouldn't mind opting out of. Yeah, Fiona Bruce does Question Time. Fiona Bruce is probably one of the worst to ever do it in the history of the game.
From the government, and I'm here to.
But when I say good, I mean by TV standards, guys. I don't mean by like I don't mean by like actual good analysis. Like I don't mean like how some of the people on YouTube can do actual good analysis on stuff. Like I mean, as far as TV standards go, like media, like people who normally people watch, non kind of political junkies who watch like YouTube channels and stuff. I'm talking about like the average person who would probably be in this panel, like this guy, her, him, this person here, that dude there.
To help, which I think is basically what most people think about the intervention of either a Labour or a Conservative government. If you look at the levels of spending in the North versus London, Labour has been in power in the North, the majority North, for decades. They've done nothing. The Conservatives have been in power in some form of the...
I mean, the Labour criticism makes no real sense there when the Conservatives held the purse strings for the last 14 years. But starting off with a Reagan quote, really heavily implying that you're a fan of small government, and then being mad there hasn't been much government intervention, trying to couch it as well, this is what people have what feel like is a bit bold, to be honest.
Other since 2010, they've done nothing. In a town like Grimsby, if I get the opportunity, I want to leave. And it's a shame, really, because, my family is from here. I've lived most of my life here. So shouldn't places like Grimsby be a draw for young people, especially when you look at the housing prices in, say, London? I'm not saying Grimsby house prices aren't, rising as well, but you think that people should want to go to places like this instead of, just, yeah.
I'm really interested in that, because
Yeah, social media's really done a number on him. For there's ZTO as well. I know Mendes has made his own media network. He's quite good, but he's off in the States. Or actually, no, I think he might be back in Britain, actually, because he was on with Owen Jones. I think they did a podcast and Bassem Youssef. I don't know if they've gone. I don't think Jones would have gone to America. So
you say that if you,
I'm pretty sure it's in person, unless they've done some real big voodoo on it.
Get the opportunity to leave Grimsby, you will. I think you're in your 20s, aren't you?
Yes.
Mid-20s, you're living with your parents, you're a remote worker.
Yeah.
But if you got a job elsewhere, you'd be off.
Yeah, somewhere like, Leeds, we just went to Liverpool in February.
I mean, go to Liverpool, a very pro-Labour place with a Labour mayor. I mean, you're mad at them for not doing interventions, but you want to go to a Labour place, okay?
And that's an absolutely wonderful city. Obviously you can't compare it's apples and oranges. But when you look at Grimsby, they say they're going to build a new cinema. Who goes to the cinema anymore? It's expensive. People watch it on Netflix. The town centre...
You just don't want nice things, innit? Like, oh yeah, they're going to build a big Tesco's. Oh, who goes to Tesco's anymore? Everyone goes to Aldi. Like, okay, like, they're building a new cinema. Like, is that the only thing they've got in the city?
It's vape shops or barbers or charity shops. There's no big shops. I mean, again, I can understand they say the rates here are high, but that's the thing about Grimsby. No one does care about us. And at the end of the day, you can vote for any politician, but when they start caring about us, maybe we'll care back.
That's fair. I think that one's fair. Maybe when they start caring about us, we'll care back, but evidently they don't, and I don't think they ever will.
You're very eloquent in how you put a lot of these things. What could the women here do to make you want to stay in Grimsby? What would make you want to stay in this area?
First, I think we need a more diverse economy. Also, they talk about offshore wind farming, which I think is a good start. Obviously, we used to have the fishing, now that's no longer. We need a diversified.
Fishing is cooked, thanks to Brexit. Cooked.
We need retail, we need...
After degrees, both my nephews left managed decline Manchester. Is Manchester doing that bad?
We don't really have manufacturing anymore in this country, but a more diverse, especially for young people, especially university educated, that don't want to be working in factories, and that's not putting our nose up at people who do that hard work. It's young people saying, we've got a degree in X, Y and Z, we want to use...
I think I'm convinced she's a uni graduate who's got a job she's not happy with, and, that's relatable. That's very relatable. Want to discuss the protest? Jesus Christ. Sorry, guys. That's pretty loud. The audio is maxed out on this one for some reason. Sorry, guys, about that. Apologies. We'll discuss a few more things. 80,000 unrecorded crimes. What? This is wild. This is like the police cracking down on the protests. Alright, got you. So you can see, I think these are professors being arrested, or at least university staff. She's literally just trying to see if that person's okay, and this guy just grabbed her with aggression in his heart. What crime has she committed? I have no idea. Look at this, look at this. He just throws her onto concrete. I think he sent her glasses flying, or someone's glasses on the ground. Yes, you need all these mans for this. Let's drag in more people away.
You people are fascists! You are Hitler! You are laughing dog!
I wouldn't call him Hitler, but the other two are pretty accurate.
Shame on you! May you never live another day! I am a professor! This is an Hitler professor, everyone!
Imagine, this is the university you work for. Your employer has called in the feds, or someone's called in the feds. This is private property the police have gone into, and have started throwing people like it's a bloody Street Fighter. Honestly.
You are rabid dogs! You are fascists!
It was a peaceful protest until they started fighting troopers.
Until they started fighting people. Like when I'd love to see a source for that.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Honestly. When I lived in Tenerife, I had a favourite cafe in Los something that proudly served Grimsby fish. I wonder what they're serving now. Probably something else. Columbia, New York. I think this is in Texas. I think this was in Texas. This is how America's going. Yeah, pretty much. There was stories about apparently snipers being put on roofs. Like, you're facing unarmed protesters. What are you going to do? Hard scope them from 100 meters out? It's ridiculous. Yeah, there's someone else being arrested here, I think.
No, you're right. It's my turn now.
Oh, no, he's not being arrested. He just filmed it.
I'm going to share this.
Appreciate him sharing it, or whoever shared this. There's more. This is Pelosi.
Protesters and the hecklers are saying about Joe Biden, the label genocide Joe. Could that could support for Israel?
I don't think Biden will win it, unless Trump comes out with more howlers again. Governor of Texas passed free speech on campus laws, and they clamped down on free speech. Yeah, that doesn't surprise. Yeah, that's what they did. Yeah. 60% of fish in Grimsby Market is landed in Scotland. Yeah, I think some of it is landed in Norway as well. I think Thatcher made a fish market short for stealing all the fish. What?
Israel cost Democrats the election this fall?
Well, it's interesting to me that you use that term, because that's what we see at 3 o'clock in the morning outside of our house, flashing as long as this room, a sign that says that. And he has been, as I say, the force for humanitarian assistance to them. He now is calling.
I mean, he's also the one arming one of the sides committing a genocide. So, just saying, guys, he's one on the side of the bombers as well. Like, I wonder if Israel could carry on their campaign if America wasn't arming them.
Calling for the ceasefire. Who's resisting the ceasefire at this point is Hamas.
It's not actually true, actually. We'll talk about that in a minute, but Hamas have actually, they wanted a ceasefire. They offered to release the hostages. The ones who don't want a ceasefire are Netanyahu.
Remember, Hamas is a terrorist organization in our view. Hamas has in its charter the destruction of the state of Israel. So this is more complicated. In terms of your question about the election, it's in Putin's interest for...
Oh, of course, there is Vladimir, Big Vlad. He's at it again, guys.
What's his name? To win. And therefore, I see some encouragement on the part of the Russians of some of what's going on.
He's encouraging and saying, yeah, you kids keep protesting.
I trust the sincerity of many of the demonstrators. It's organic, it's spontaneous, it's real. But some of it, I think, has it.
Do the Alan Duncan reveal interview. Who?
Russian tinge to it. In terms of the election, people have to decide. Do you want to save the planet? What's his name doesn't. Do you want to save your personal liberties, women's right to choose, LGBTQ? Do you want to protect the children from gun violence? Do you want to protect our Constitution?
These are all true, but your boy Genocide Joe. Oh, I don't want to use that phrase. Actually, it's pretty gnarly. Your boy Biden is not doing himself any favors. He's not doing himself any favours. And, you know, evidence of torture, nearly 400 bodies found in Gaza mass graves. These are the hospitals. This will be more. There'll be more breaking stuff coming from this. Honestly, this is really awful stuff. People, you know, had their hands bound and allegedly were executed. Like, this is gnarly stuff here. This is stuff they really should be interviewing and asking the Israelis about. Will Ferrari? I said it last week. It's 2 weeks. What? Oh, with Ferrari. I said about 2 weeks ago. I think I covered it. Yeah, I think I covered that one. Yeah, it's the one with the former Tory minister, right? I think I covered that one in a video.
So I started running, and then when I turn around, I see, they got my friend. They tackled him to the ground. They just went crazy, honestly. It makes me feel sad, but not just for Emory University, but for the state of America. Like, what the hell is this, you know? It's freedom of speech. We didn't even do anything wrong, and now these people are just...
I would want to see what their charges are, what they're actually being charged with.
Tied up, heads down. If you saw how some of these people came here, it was atrocious.
It's wild, honestly. I'm glad that some of these people are covering this as well. It's great. Yeah, I'm sure I did cover it, because I went back and had a look. Sorry. This one's another one that's wild.
I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do for you right now?
Yes, can you call the philosophy department office and tell them I've been requested?
Philosophy department?
Yes, call the philosophy department office.
I will. What's your...
I'm chair of the philosophy department.
I got you.
And she's been dragged away. Look, you know, this is one of the senior heads at the university being arrested for protesting. I wonder what the philosophical argument of arresting her would be. Got some protesters in France, so big up these students as well, big up these protesters as well. Respect that. There's no doubt Netanyahu is preventing the release of the abductees, Chaim Rubinstein. Until recently, the spokesperson for the families of the abductees reveals details about the meetings with Netanyahu, about the pressure exerted by Prime Minister's office and the reasons why he resigned from his life project. In an interview with Gideon Allon, he reveals, in respect, we learned that Hamas offered to immediately release all the abducted citizens if the IDF did not enter the Strip, but the government rejected that policy. YouTube blocked my Lloyd's... What? See live tab. Okay, so what we can see from this is there was the offer to release the hostages, and there was a no. And then this is the guy who's meant to stop it all.
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years. 4 more years.
The audience really tried to rescue him there, but honestly...
Start praying, boy.
Honestly, start praying at this point, because...
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause.
God damn. We might as well just go through all the videos I've got saved up here, because I don't think I've got like really any long ones. Yeah, screw it. Let's just finish this here. We're going to check in with our local English patriots from St George's Day.
God bless Tommy Robinson, because he has got the...
Okay, so we can skip these ones because there's some out of context ones there, because for some reason Politics Joe love doing that.
Time.
Which gives me big kind of football vibes, like these kind of, yeah.
After being acquitted of violating a dispersal order, Tommy and his mates headed for a rally in Whitehall, where he and other far-right figures spoke more about a two-tiered police system than about England's green and pleasant lands. There were flags, singing, and the violence that is now customary at this kind of gathering.
Yeah, these are guys here who support the police and support the country and want to protect the monuments and stuff, and they're out here violently protesting. My garden is filled with little flags. As in flags, no one has removed or destroyed them. That is surprising, but are you based in Scotland?
I wanted to know why people were here. Was it to celebrate England? Can you talk me through your outfit?
Well, the outfit is just St George's battle dress.
What does St George mean to you?
Everything. I'm English.
This is the one time that the only time you get an English flag nowadays is during the football.
What's your favourite thing about being English?
I always hate how Politics Show cut up the interviews. It does annoy me. Tommy Robinson, aka Stephen Yaxley Lennon, I think his name is.
Freedom and liberty.
Yeah.
And that's going to be eroded very soon.
Can you talk?
Yeah, when I covered this in the video, like, it's kind of dumb because these people don't understand, like, they've already been eroded by the Conservative government because of the fact that they've taken away the freedom of protest.
Talk me through your sign, please.
I made this sign up yesterday, And the reason
that's a mean comment, Val. That's mean.
Got openly English, openly Christian is to do with Gideon Falter, who obviously had an altercation. But I would like to add that it was Gideon that actually caused the issue with Tommy Robinson for what he was arrested for, and has just been cleared in court today. And we were at the court as well.
That English flag is in the middle of the Union Jack, and that is what we're taking back, going, right, this is where all the parliaments are, and that holds
this is
everything.
What the sacrifice
and this is
what
not democracy.
In God's will.
This is hypocrisy.
It is God's will.
This is
We've
disgusting.
done it.
He was spitting bars there. I covered that in the original video. Check this out.
In God's will.
This is hypocrisy, and that is what we're taking back, going, right, this is where all the parliaments are, and that holds
This is
everything.
what the sacrifice
and this is
what
not
has
democracy.
Been. In God's
this
will.
This is hypocrisy.
It is
He's talking over him while he's spitting bars on us, man.
God's
Crazy.
will. We've disgusting.
And I just
He's rapping, bro.
think our culture is being erased, which is not fair. So to me, it's
You got to remember which flag is in the middle, which one's the centerpiece.
all about the unfairness. I'm equal to all. My partner is a Muslim, so that's absolutely fine. But it is becoming unequal, and I don't like the unfairness.
I don't like unfairness. It's not very fair. I don't like it.
To be English is about walking through the street and being able to breathe, I think. Breathe, and when it is a sunny day, to be able to lie down, you know, in our green pastures, as people would say.
I mean, who's stopping you doing that, blood? Who's telling you can't lie down in the grass on a sunny day? Who is stopping you doing this? You know, if that's what it means to be English, who is doing that? And do you know what? If you guys want, I will on a sunny day, I will, if I can find someone to film it, I will film myself lying down in the grass on a sunny day, which will hopefully be soon because this weather's been atrocious, right? And so if that's what the people want, if that's what being English means, I'll do it just to prove to this lady that we can do it. Okay? When I couldn't breathe, Porsche terminated me with pneumonia. That's crazy. Porsche.
And I think it is a place where we, for all our controversy with our governments, we had a respect for the establishment.
When you say unequal,
So when Boris Johnson lied to the Queen, would you say that was a respect for the establishment? Question.
cool. Unequal to who?
To us as English people, to English people that live in this country, there is a shift of unfairness.
What does that look like?
It's just, well, this is one part of it, you know, that people are being told you are openly something, so therefore can you move or you will be arrested.
It's literally everyone. I could probably walk around with a sign in London saying I like curry, and the police can say someone could find that offensive and you take it down. So, you know, like this is nonsense here. What she's saying. If she was so worried about it, she should have been there protesting against the anti-protest bills that they put through in Parliament a while ago.
I'm taking a risk that it could be that any time a police person can come up and say, "Can you take your sign down, please?"
Why would they? What's wrong with your sign?
They would actually say that it could be antagonistic to people walking past.
Obviously, I'm Scottish, very proud Scotsman.
Yeah.
What's something you think Scottish people could learn from English people?
No, not really, because, I mean, the Scottish people are very proud people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do have a bit of a dickhead for a leader, though, you know what I mean?
So do you.
Oh, yeah, he's a dickhead as well. Do you know what I mean? You need to get someone very good up in Scotland. You want to get a Scotsman, a proper Scotsman.
Hamza Yusuf is Scottish.
What's that?
He is Scottish.
Yeah, but is he Scottish or is he Islam? Is he?
What does that mean? Is he an ethnicity and a religion? Like what? Is he Islam? Like what?
He's Scottish. He's from the same place I am.
Yeah, but he's more for the ethnic minorities than he is for the Scottish, isn't he? Bit like.
So he's saying, like, what's it called? Is he Islam? He's like, oh, he's from the same place as me. Well, you know, he's more for minorities. It's like, okay, does that make him not a Scotsman?
Like them here. They don't care. You should know that, Governor.
I'm just glad my granddad's dead.
That's such a, honestly, they start the clip with this thing and it's wild. Do that, chook. Where on earth did that baby? What? The Scots could teach the. Don't say they use words like pish. We don't want to hear that. Manchester Mayor forced people to interview for oligarch Sir Richard Branson. What are you accusing Andy Burnham of?
Why do you say that?
Because my granddad,
All I see in the comments is Yusuf's colour or religion. Nothing to exactly.
he fought the war. He was a fireman in the war. He was one of the few firemen that were blessed to have a ceremony at his funeral. And he spent 4 years in this city putting out fires in the blitz.
Just saying, you know, your grandfather, based on what you're saying is he helped to fight fascism, and you're here backing the people who I would say are pretty borderline fascistic. Now, maybe it's better that he's not here to see that. Maybe that's a mean thing to say. Switching gears, we're going to talk about a Tory MP who's going to cry about stuff.
Who just, sometimes even the most minor thing that you think you've achieved in a day actually is really significant and makes an enormous difference.
What won't you miss?
The toxicity of politics. I think there's a sort of default assumption. There'll be people screaming at the TV tonight that everything...
Yeah, that was a bit dodgy, but I guess his fight was against fires. I don't know, maybe... I can't imagine he was like a soldier and they brought him back to fight fires. I mean, yeah, it is a bit weird, to be honest with you. I didn't want to pull up on that one because, yeah...
thing I'm saying is a lie or my motivations are poor.
I mean, I bet you if I pulled up your voting record, it wouldn't look great. I'll be honest. Be smoking the pack them. I guarantee his voting record would not be
Everybody
great.
in the House of Commons, irrespective of their view, is guided by a sense that they want to kind of do something good for their country, want to make a difference.
That's cap. Sunak's there, in my, he could, possibly to stack money for Infosys because they're making lots of money off government contracts.
Difference to the community they represent.
Parachute him in.
We might disagree over exactly how to do it, but I just don't think the public see always that politicians of all persuasions are actually pretty good people who have volunteered themselves for public service, and it's a pretty thankless environment. And I won't miss just quite how thankless it is. I won't miss.
Why would you expect praise? Have you guys done a good job? No, you guys are trash. You guys are absolutely trash. So I don't. So, honestly, I don't. I don't know what you want praise for.
How free people are with their opinions on Twitter or X when they disagree with you. But I will miss that ability to just every now and then make a change. Might only affect one constituent as a result of some casework, or it might be something like when I flew to Kyiv 2 weeks before the war to tell Alexei Reznikov, the then defence minister, that we were giving them the first 6,500 NLAW, and it's the.
Which again, okay, that's good. Giving them weapons for defence, that was good, but. What did you do for people? I don't want to sound like those people in Georgia today, but objectively, what did you do to improve people's lives in this country? Probably nothing. Probably very little. Do you know what? I wish I brought up his voting record. Let's have a look. Let's have a peek. Let's see, where is he? They work for us. Where are you? Let's have a peek. Let's see what he's done. Work summary, MPs, voted for measures to reduce tax avoidance fine. Let's see his record on NHS because that's down here at the bottom. Let's see. His one's pretty similar to the other guys, to be fair, on that stuff, on health. See, almost always voted for more restrictive regulations on trade union activity. So effectively, taking away collective bargaining powers. Not great. Does he want praise for that? Voted for raising the threshold for people starting paying income tax. That's fine. Almost always voted against higher tax on the bank. So does he want praise for that? Consistently voted for reducing capital gains tax. Does he want praise for that? Consistently voted for higher taxes specifically to fund health and social care. That's fine. Some of these ones are minor ones. He probably does get a slight golf clap, if that's what it's called. But honestly, these are like minor ones that you'd expect anyone to vote for anyways. Consistently voted for raising benefits at least in line with prices. That one he does deserve some credit for, I think, because the rest of the stories are pretty washed on this. But generally voted against paying higher benefits for those unable to work due to illness and disability. Scumbag move. Voting against that. Generally voted for reduction in spending on welfare benefits. Again, scumbag move. Generally voted for increasing the state pension age. Scumbag move. So again, voted against. Consistently voted against stronger fire safety measures. Again, why would you do that unless you're a landlord? Do you want praise for more people burning in fires or having their goods burnt in a fire? voted against landlords paying for building safety, generally voted for phasing out secure tenancies for life. I mean, that sounds like a bad policy to vote out. Consistently voted for charging a market rent to high earners. I mean, I don't think that one's that bad, depending on where you draw the line at high earners. But yeah, his voting record's pretty similar to the other dudes, to be honest. Consistently voted for restricting the scope of legal aid. Does he want praise for that? Should I go on? Really?
Yes.
So yeah, he's mad people smoke him on. People are mad at, people cook him on Twitter. He's mad about that. I mean, it's pathetic. You're an MP. It's pathetic. If you can't handle people being mean to you on Twitter, don't go on Twitter. Like, just don't post. Don't post stuff on Twitter. Just genuinely just stupid. Yeah, same as Dr. Dean. Is he
responsible for some of the breakdown in the trust that we've seen?
I think, sadly, what has happened with politics is that it has become clickbait. And actually,
the question is Boris Johnson, though. Do you think he bears some responsibility?
I think, absolutely. Any senior politician, any politician bears some responsibility towards that. But the reality is what goes on.
So the reality is, Boris Johnson should take some responsibility for the lies he did. Because let's not forget, the things around Partygate, etc. It was pretty bad. Like, they were just constantly lying about stuff, constantly lying. And they kept shifting goalposts and stuff. They kept shifting the goalposts. And every time they were found in a lie, they said, okay, that was a lie, but this other thing's the truth and stuff like that. It was, yeah, honestly,
in Parliament, people switch on PMQs, and I have to say, I thought some of what by that, and I'm doing the job.
I mean, yeah, whatever. But you know what? This point here is the funny one.
I think, sadly, what has happened with politics is that it has become clickbait. And actually,
the question is Boris Johnson, though. Do you think he bears some responsibility?
I think, absolutely. Any senior politician, any politician bears some responsibility towards that. But the reality is what goes on in Parliament. People switch on PMQs, and I have to say,
clickbait. She's blaming clickbait for all the stuff in Parliament. Honestly, she's one of those ones who wants. I don't think she wants Boris back. Boris Johnson, the greatest thing to happen in this country. How else would he have known? But don't even start. Final one of the day. Sorry, I don't think it's been the most high energy stream by any means. It's a Jeb Bush. It's a Jeb Bush stream. Low energy Jeb. That's what we're going for here. But yeah, the government blew 1.1 million pounds boasting about levelling up in ads rather than actually levelling up. So instead of showing people the levelling up stuff, they just kept putting in ads. Like, is that not the most conservative thing you've ever seen? The most Tory party thing you've ever seen is not actually doing the thing that they promised, but taking a victory lap. Doing a victory lap over it. It's just so wild. Imagine not doing the thing that you were meant to do, and then taking a victory lap, claiming you've done it, powered by levelling up, spent over £1 million on ads, £1 million on ads, and then you find out, they didn't actually do, they didn't do that much levelling up. Most of the budget is still there. It's wild to me, wild. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can. Thank you for everyone for the super chats. Memberships are open as well, if you'd be so kind. But other than that, yeah, no problem, Ruth. I've got the videos I need to edit and sort out for tomorrow. The bank holiday week, the 6th, I'll be on leave, but I've got my laptop, so I've bought a new laptop, so as long as I can get that set up, I'll be covering content whilst I'm having a short break. But yeah, other than that, I'll catch you guys when I'm streaming next, so probably next Saturday. Actually, no, not next Saturday. I'll do a midweek stream instead, because Saturday I'll be out all day. Alright, catch you guys next time. Bye bye.